Yo, what's up guys? You got pokeaim here with another Pokemon Sword and Shield moveset video guide on how to use Flapple. If you guys missed any of my previous moveset video guides, especially the Appleton that went up on Thursday, feel free to check it out. There's a playlist down below. Also, feel free to subscribe if you do enjoy this content. I have plenty of battles coming up where I show off these Pokemon, so enjoy if you do. Yeah, enjoy if you do. Yeah, I'm not starting over the clip. You know, enjoy if you do. That's it. That is not a phrase. Anyway, we're going to talk about Flapple. Now, Flapple is the counterpart of Appleton, and it's the more offensive variant of it, still being Grass Dragon. And I guess the big thing about this Pokemon is the fact that it does have Hustle, which boosts its attack by 1.5 times, but it basically lowers the accuracy of its move by 0.8 times. So 100% accurate move will be 80% accurate. So just to give you an idea. But that's essentially a choice band on Flapple. And on top of that, the first set we're going to be talking about is the choice band set, which takes advantage of its base 110 attack. Unfortunately, Flapple doesn't have the best speed at base 70. It would have been awesome had it been maybe around base 95, even base 100, allowing to outspeed Pokemon like Darmanitan in the tier. But still, it can make do. The first set is going to be running a Jolly nature, and the reason we're Jolly is because we want to be able to outspeed max speed Corviknight, which is definitely running around in the tier. But Choice Band Flapple can actually 2-hit KO Corviknight, max HP Corviknight with Rocks Up guaranteed. Before Rocks, if it has leftovers, it's like a 20% chance to 2-hit KO. But that's pretty strong considering with the Choice Band and Outrage, I mean, Corviknight obviously does resist. But yeah, if you get up Rocks, this Pokemon can 2-hit KO Corviknight upon switching. And being Jolly Nature, we are faster than Corviknight. Outrage obviously is our main form of stab. We have the Grav Apple as, I think it's either Grav or Grave. I'm assuming it's Grav or Grav Apple. But we have that as our physical stab, and it has a 100% chance to lower the target's defense. So that's pretty cool on an attack that's already being boosted by Hustle and Choice Band. So some walls you might actually be able to break through. A Pokemon like Galarian Corsola, for instance, might try and come in on your Grav Apple, and then, you know, next one they might not be able to live it just because of the fact that their defense has been lowered. We have U-Turn for Momentum. This Pokemon does invite in Pokemon like Ferrothorn, for instance, or again, Corviknight. So being able to U-turn out of those Pokemon coming in can give you the advantage in terms of setting out a teammate that can deal with Pokemon that Flapple doesn't like. And the last move we have is Sucker Punch. Now, Sucker Punch is a good option for Pokemon like Dragapult, which are faster than even a Dragon Dance Flapple, which we will be going over. And it allows you to knock them out with the combination of Sucker Punch, Hustle, and Choice Band. So it gives it some priority. And I think this will be one of the more standard sets that this Pokemon use alongside the Dragon Dance set, which we're about to get to. So the Dragon Dance set basically gives you the strength of a Choice Band after you Dragon Dance, the freedom of a new item, and the speed of course, the Dragon Dance itself. So the set we have is Dragon Dance, Outrage, Grav Apple, and Sucker Punch. With a Life Orb, I think a Lumberry can work too, but I actually like a Life Orb a lot because it boosts the Sucker Punch, and I think that's very important as well for dealing with a Pokemon like Aegislash after you Dynamax. So basically, you can Dragon Dance, Sucker Punch, and go for your Max Darkness, and you'll be able to knock out Aegislash with the Life Orb boost at +1. So I think that's a pretty important calc, especially because Aegislash does resist the Dragon and the Grass type attacks coming out from Flapple. Same EV spread as before, and honestly, this Pokemon doesn't have too many other options in terms of what it can use on the physical side. Acrobatics is an option, but I mean, we're holding an item, so unless you want to use it on maybe like a Ripen set, because if you guys didn't know, its ability is Ripen. We have Hustle, but its other ability is Ripen, which it ripens berries and doubles their effects. So, for example, a Lychee Berry, which we'll be talking about in a second, would, if it was used with the Ripen ability, it would get +2 attack instead of the +1. So that's really cool for Flapple, of course, and we'll talk about that in a second. But again, instead of using U-Turn, this was on a setup one. And unfortunately, again, keep in mind that this Pokemon is slower than a Pokemon like Dragapult, which is why, even at +1, which is why Sucker Punch, I think, is really, really nice. Being able to deal with that. You do have to worry about missing, though. Hustle is going to make your moves not 100% accurate. So you definitely have to worry about missing. The next set we have is, I kind of wanted to try one that worked with its Ripen ability, considering I think that Choice Band and Dragon Dance are going to be its best sets. But I do have a Lychee Berry Ripen set. And what Lychee Berry does is it gives your attack, you get a +1 attack raise, after you basically get 1/4 your max HP. So in order to help us get there, we have Substitute on this set, and Substitute not only protects us, but also gets us lower and lower, closer to that ripen, and you can actually get your +2 attack from that without having to worry about the hustle. So that's pretty cool. But the set is Jolly again, max attack, max speed, and either Outrage or Dragon Rush. I think Outrage is pretty solid. Obviously, it's stronger. Well, it's strong in a sense, but it also confuses you. Whereas Dragon Rush is slightly weaker, but has only 75% accuracy. Excuse me, I said accuracy. But yeah, Outrage, Grab Apple, Sucker Punch, or Substitute. Of course, this set, like I said, has some slashes. You can either use Outrage or Dragon Dance, and either Sucker Punch, or excuse me, Outrage or Dragon Rush. Grab Apple, I think, is a given. You kind of want this Pokemon and its ability to deal with Pokemon like Rotom. And then either Sucker Punch or Dragon Dance. Dragon Dance is really interesting because Sub-Dragon Dance with a Lychee Berry, you Dragon Dance and you get Lychee Berry twice. You're +3, right? So this Pokemon becomes a lot stronger, faster with Dragon Dance. But I think that Sucker Punch is also pretty cool too because, once again, Dragapult is going to be faster than you even after one Dragon Dance. Now, if you manage to get 2, you're probably going to be sweeping at that point if they don't have Feral Thorn or Corviknight or any steel types left like that. But yeah, I think that's one of the main things. This Pokemon could potentially run, I guess, a special set if you wanted to. Maybe even a Life Orb mix set with Draco Meteor, Energy Ball. I was even looking at like sub Leech Seed sets with Giga Drain and maybe the Ripen ability or even like a Recycle type of thing. But its lack of bulk and more importantly its lack of speed, I think, makes those kind of useless. For example, the mix set with like Draco Meteor, Sucker Punch, Grab Apple, and whatever other move you want to run with it, maybe Air Slash. That's kind of just outclassed by Special Dragapult, which can literally run all the same moves except for Grab Apple. And it has better special moves, right? Like Fire Blast and Thunderbolt to be able to break through counters. It has Stab Shadow Ball, which is a lot better than Grass Stab in a sense, just because Grass is resisted by so much, whereas when paired with the rest of Flapple's moves, whereas Shadow Ball is a lot more spammable, in my opinion, and obviously Dragapult does have that speed tier. But yeah, those are potential options on this Pokemon. I do think that something fun could be ran with Ripen. I just wanted to kind of put one there. I also think that maybe some type of defensive berry could be cool on like a sub Leech Seed set. Maybe a Citrus Berry or maybe one that boosts your actual stats. Those all have potential as well. But I think that's basically it for Flapple. In terms of teammates, I already mentioned the big one is you want teammates that can deal with steel types, right? Feral Thorn and Corviknight, for the most part, can wall you. Feral Thorn specifically is just going to take the Outrage and just Gyro Ball you to death. Whereas Corviknight can obviously bulk up and set up on you and then threaten you with the Brave Bird. So you definitely want teammates that can deal with steel types. And I think Rotom Wash is a good one for at least Corviknight, being able to Will-O-Wisp it and Volt Switch on out of there. In terms of Feral Thorn, it's a little bit tricky, I think, in terms of like having a good partner that doesn't overlap. Like I could see yourself going something like Double Dragon, for instance, whereas you use Dragapult to weaken the steel types because it does have Shadow Ball, it does have Fire Blast, Shadow Ball being neutral, Fire Blast being super effective. That way Flapple can come in later, right, and do its thing, like it'll weaken it. So that can be some sort of overlapping thing. I think Hydreigon can do very similar. I like Flapple's ability to actually break through Fairy types though, which is something that other dragons can't do as well, just because of his Grab Apple and the Hustle ability as well. So again, a few other cool teammates could be potentially Gyarados plus Flapple, because they both kind of like the idea of Ferrothorn being gone, and Gyarados can actually do that very well with its Dynamax moves, and obviously the combination of Moxie too. And I think that when you're also using this thing, spikes are going to be very important as well. Spikes, hazards. I love the combination of Cinderace plus Flapple as well. Cinderace is another mon that can also even just weaken Pokemon that Flapple doesn't want to deal with the Pyro Ball. U-Turn, it can do Court Change as well for hazards too. Maybe like a Sticky Web set could also, a Sticky Web, not on Cinderace, but a Sticky Web team could also work with Flapple. However, if you are doing that, you're probably better off using something like Dracovish or Dragozolt as potential Pokemon. But Aegislash as well, I think, is a good teammate too. Basically, anything that can do damage to Steel types, whether it be super effective or just hit it hard, and that's what Aegislash and opposing Dragapult and Cinderace come into play. But yeah, I think that's it. That's all I have to talk about with this Pokemon. It does have, a key resistance to water, and I think that's really big in a metagame where Rotom Wash is one of the best Pokemon, easily one of the best Pokemon. But of course, it does have to worry about being Will-O-Wisp by it, because for the most part, it is a physical attacker. But yeah, I think that's all I have. So thank you for watching. Hope you guys all enjoyed. As I mentioned earlier, I will be having Showdown live later today, and I believe this video goes up on Saturday. I'm recording now, it's Wednesday. Obviously tomorrow is Thanksgiving, and then Appleton will go up on Thanksgiving, and then Friday I should have Ice Cube, so this should be going up Saturday. So I'm going to do my best to get the first Wi-Fi battle here on the channel. I don't think I'll be showing off Flapple. I might start my road to Master tier, or Master Ball tier, so that's going to be Battle Spot Singles, or just a regular Wi-Fi battle as well, which unfortunately has a 20-minute timer. Hopefully we can work around that if anything. But if you guys are excited for that, feel free to leave a like. Let me know what sets you want to use on Flapple. I've seen some people run like Electric Seed with Acrobatics to deal with opposing grass types, but for the most part I think that this is kind of what you want to run on this Pokemon. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. Goodbye, my friends.